Yo, 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 good morning. Let me just go ahead and share this link out. We are live in action. Let your people know. Boom. Live in action, baby. Let's get it. Cool, cool. Put that there. For some reason, it's not letting me use my actual mic. Let me see. Let me get this going. Let me share my screen real quick. And again, if you're just hopping on, share this with your teams, with your family, with your people. Discord as well. And last but not least, all right, ladies and gentlemen, what's good? Let me know if you can hear me properly, because for some reason it's not connecting properly to the mic. It's using the default microphone, but let me know if you can hear me, if it sounds clear. I'm trying to get this connected right now. I don't know why it's like tripping. Let me see. I'll figure it out later. But yeah, let me know in the chat. Like, drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Like, let me know if it sounds clear, because I don't want to be talking and then it doesn't even sound. All right, perfect. Thank you. So let's get it. Who's looking at Nas, man? Nas is running. Nas is running this morning. I believe there was some kind of news. Let me just check. Oh, we had the core CPI at 5:30. No wonder. Right, because this morning at 5:30, my alert went off because I woke up at like 5. I woke up like what time is it? Like 5:25 or something, and then my alarm went off at like 5:30 for the charts. And I'm like, what's going on? And it's like I always put my alarm at the stop loss as well, and I'm like, damn, did I get stopped out? And I see the chart just like hit the stop and then run. Right. Luckily on my broker, it was like a little bit more deeper, but still, it's crazy work. So I'm guessing they had a nice liquidity sweep this morning. They came in within 1 minute on the 1 minute candle. Right, on the 1 minute candle. But real quick, let me see. We got Enrique in here, Jesus, Noe, Gio, and Reggie. What's good? How y'all doing? Good morning, Grand Rising. I hope y'all are having a good day. Hope y'all slept good. You got your coffee, you got your water. I hope you're doing blessed. But yeah, I mean, let's just take a step back real quick on NAS and just show you the overall arching timeline. If you've been tapped into these calls on a weekly basis, if you've been plugged into the chats, you know that we've been calling these moves ever since then, especially with NAS. Last week on the call, price was down here in this area, and the reason why we were looking for buys is because we had, this massive consolidation, right? Massive consolidation. You can even include this, right? And then we swept all the lows, including these lows, right? We swept all these lows, all this liquidity right down here, and then price worked its way back up above these highs, breaking above with the full body candle, coming back for the retest and taking off. And then price came all the way back down into our zone and gave us another setup on the 4 hour. It gave us some more consolidation. Right, we swept, as you see here with this wick. We broke above, retested, and now price is flying, as you can see. But we are being extra cautious at these levels because technically technically price, we are inside of a potential reversal area, right? We have this liquidity, this consolidation, liquidity, and then we sweep the highs, break below. So now we're here, but until I see something like this, some type of consolidation where we sweep the highs and then we change character to the downside, I'm not really looking for price to sell off just because we're in the zone. I always want to see another confirmation inside. And the reason being is because there's been many times where price came into the sell zone, but instead of giving the sell opportunity, it gave a buy opportunity where we swept the lows, broke above. If price gives you this type of setup inside of your quote unquote sell zone, then I'll be more inclined to take the buys. Right? Not every sell zone has to hold, not every buy zone has to hold. That's why I always look for another confirmation inside just to see what they really want to do. What they really want to do. So as we see here, as we go down to the smaller time frames, I have my handy dandy 900, 800 exponential moving average. And as we can see, last time price tapped that, it dropped precipitously. It dropped over 2,000 pips. Now we're back here again. Is it going to drop once more, or are we going to blow past this to the next level? Right, exactly, Enrique. A setup inside of a setup. It's like Inception, a dream within a dream. That's how I always visualize it myself. So I'm very curious to see, what happens here in this area, because I know once price does, if it breaks above these types of zones, like especially on the 4-hour, how we were here, price tends to fly. It tends to fly out of there. As we see here, last time we touched it, price flew. Right, last time we were beneath it, it gave a setup, price flew. Right, so now on the 1-hour, we are right beneath it. So if we do break above, I expect also price to fly. If not, and we sell off, it is what it is. There's more buy setups down here. And of course, the stop loss for the whole setup is down here with this wick. Right, this is the stop loss right here. I know I had someone ask me, didn't you get stopped out on the buys? Because I have buys here that I'm still holding all up in here. Holding buys over 900 pips all up in here, right? And they're like, didn't you get stopped out? I'm like, no, because I under leveraged all in here during this chaos. So I wasn't stressed out in consolidation while keeping my stop loss at that original daily, weekly level. Right. And as we dive deeper, we're at current price and we had another buy setup. Right? Price flew off the other day. It did its thing. And now we have a buy setup. Right. I'm not going to ignore the setup, especially in an uptrend. That looks better on the 1 minute as well. And let me just zoom in for you. We had liquidity, consolidation, right? They had the lows, we had the highs, we swept these lows, and then we eventually, right here, broke above the highs. And once that happened, we retested, we mitigated several times over and over and over and over and over, even gave more setups in here. The news just hit 5:30, swept even the stop loss with a wick, and then price continues to push to the upside. It is only 6:11. We have about 19 minutes until 6:30 when the market, New York session for the stocks exchange officially opens. So that's also going to produce more volatility. But let me know in the chat. You think, based off our findings, based off your findings, do you believe we're going to continue to push up on NAS, or do you think we're going to push down? Right? You think we're going to, clap these buys here, and then just continue down? Or do you think we're going to continue to push up and ride the wave? Let me know. I'm curious to see what you guys have, what you guys are seeing on NAS, or are you just waiting for me? It's okay, either way. But yeah, let me know. Let me know in the chat. Okay. No worries. No worries. Maybe you guys are just still asleep. Maybe you didn't have your coffee this morning. Maybe you didn't even get out of bed. You probably clicked the video and you're just laying there and you probably fell back asleep. But it's okay. It's okay. One day you guys are gonna break out of your comfort zone and you're gonna, participate and speak. It's okay. But let's check on the other indices. Dang, look at that 30-minute candle. No way. I'm not sure if we can drop charts on the chat. I know on the last call, someone tried to drop their chart link in the chat. It just didn't work. Let me see. It didn't work. But if you are in the Telegram chats, you can send it on there and just let me know, and I'll pull it up real quick. That's also one of the benefits of our community is, if you are plugged into our chats, we're sharing charts in there all the time, and we're able to help each other learn faster and give feedback. So that's a huge benefit. It does cut the learning curve like times 10. So I just got it at the NAS chart image. Let me see. If I bring this over, can you see that? Okay, I see that. That's fire. I like that. He's looking at the buys on the 1 minute, essentially in the same area. Right, he has a buy zone right in here. He's looking to catch some buys right there. Stop loss slightly beneath these lows here. Yeah, same thing, same setup. Right, it's right there. So we're looking for that. I'm going to put my alert here again at the entry, just in case price decides to come down and give y'all another chance to get in. I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to enter before. I did drop these setups in the chat yesterday, because when price had already flew, all these hundreds of pips, right? Price flew like crazy, and we started to consolidate. Price was around this area. It was around here, and I was like, okay, guys, we need the change of character above these highs. So I marked it up. I was like, the low, the high, sweep, looking for something like this. I sent this in all the chats, and as you can see, we actually did get that. Price did its thing. It took a while. I don't know why it's doing that. It finally broke above, gave us the change of character, and it continued to retest, even gapped up a little bit, continued to do its thing. It shot up for a nice amount of pips, about 35 pips. Maybe you took the trade off the break and retest, break even stop loss. Price flew even higher. You're like, yeah, we're up, 60 pips, and it comes right back down to the entry, maybe stopping some people out at break even, so you don't really lose any money at that point. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that, so I'm just gonna end it. Okay, take that off. Boom. And we're just here now. Price is here doing its thing. We're live in action. Let me take a look at the other indices though. This is NASDAQ. Look at that 1 hour, sweep. All right, we actually dipped into this imbalance right here. Interesting. We came right into this imbalance on the 1 hour. Very, very nice. Very nice. All right, we tapped into this imbalance, no drawdown, and flew. What's up with US 30 though? Same thing with US 30s, something very similar. We didn't reach the imbalance down here, but we did tap into this order block. We did tap into that. Very nice. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, US 30 has been bullish ever since we came into the previous buy zone, right? We had liquidity here, the lows, the highs. We swept the lows, broke above, mitigated at least, 6 times or over many hours back and forth into the zone, filling in more imbalances, flying, and then coming right back into the zone for another mitigation, filling in deeper imbalances and inefficiencies, and then flying once more. So let's see how that goes. Do we continue? Right? Do we struggle to break above these lows here as well? All right, let's go ahead and indicate that. We need to break above this, essentially. That's going to let us know we want to continue. And then we have more zones up here. And then SPX 500 also flying. We actually already broke above those lows on SPX, heading more into these lows now. So hey, it looks pretty good. SPX is more bullish in my eyes. Very, very solid. I like that. And it's the same thing. It's essentially the same setup, right? We had the lows, the highs, swept it, broke above, came back, took off, came back, took off. And if anytime you zoom out and you see the structure, it's making higher highs and higher lows, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So this is your traditional uptrend schematic. So until I see something else, and I don't really like to promote counter trend trading. This is too stressful. I'm not trying to stress y'all out. Right, Bitcoin still here doing its thing. We took some buys earlier in the week. Let me just zoom out real quick on I think it was the monthly. Yeah, I like the way this monthly candle looks. We came into the monthly imbalance. Right, and here this whole candle is the imbalance. Right, this whole blue area is the imbalance. We came right into that. Now we're pushing back up with 17 days left for the month. And if this candle proceeds to break, this liquidity, these highs, I can definitely see Bitcoin going to the next level, right? 600K is right here. Let me just mark that because that's what I want to see. I want to see Bitcoin hit that. We're not too far away. We're about $40,000, 40,000 pips from that target. And we know Bitcoin likes to run. Bitcoin does like to run. And we're pretty close to that. If I see this current monthly candle or the next monthly candle, stay bullish and still close above the previous all-time highs around 69/70, like we already did. Because keep in mind, we already did close above these highs with a full body candle. So that's already confirmation that we want to see higher prices. It doesn't mean it has to happen immediately, but that lets you know, hey, we've already closed with a full body candle above the previous all-time highs. That lets us know there's a high chance of us continuing in the upward direction, because if I were to draw the buy setup, which is, a low, a high, we sweep the lows, and then we break above the highs with the full body candle, that's the same thing, right? And then we come back down, maybe give another setup on a smaller time frame, and then continue. So this is essentially what's happening with Bitcoin as we speak. So I'm very optimistic about price continuing. I know we have some people saying they want to see price come lower, back and see these imbalances, things like that. I mean, if it happens, it happens. That's better for us. I mean, I'm not sure how many of y'all on the call have purchased Bitcoin or XRP or Ethereum. Of course, you want to buy low and get better prices. But until we see some type of confirmation here, I'm just not gonna speculate. I've never been able to speculate time and price. Price is gonna hit this price at this time. I've never been able to do that because if I have, yeah, yeah, M's in the bank, M's in the bank. All I can do is pay attention to the structure of the market, and then the structure will tell you the most likely direction of where price wants to go. That's all I can really do. If you can do more than that, let me know because give me the plays. Let us know. Don't be a gatekeeper. All right. I'm putting big lots on there. And gold has been flying, ever since we came into this buy zone over here originally, where we had the lows, the highs, swept the lows, broke above. Crazy mitigation for days, hours, just in here, in the zone. Blah, 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 blah. We finally took off. And once we did, we came right back to the entry. Luckily, though, once price came back, it gave us more setups. And then price literally flew, already smacked the 1 to 3, struggling to break the highs once again. But it's no worries. We're already above previous all-time highs from before. It's absolutely no reason to be shook. Looking at the monthly candles, we're just flying. We're just flying. There's been no sign of reversal really at all. We would have to break beneath this entire buy setup. Like all this would have to be just liquidity. This is liquidity here, highs and lows, and then maybe we sweep the highs and break below to then continue. That's what I would have to see in order for us to be convinced that price wants to go lower. And unless we see this type of setup, it doesn't make any sense to speculate sells unless you're scalping on like the 1 hour and below and hoping that scalp turns into the swing trade. And yeah, we don't know. I mean, of course, you can argue, hey, we have a sell set up here, right? Liquidity, we swept the highs, broke beneath the lows. So we're here retesting to continue the sells, perhaps. But again, this isn't bullish, a bullish asset. This is a bullish asset. It's been bullish since before we were born. So again, I'm not going to promote counter trend trades. I'm just not. You can though. I used to do that all the time. I used to love counter trend trading, and after various hours of back testing, I'm like, let me show you real quick. I was so focused on. I was selling a lot in this whole move up. I was catching every sell opportunity for a whole entire year straight because I thought I was like, hey, we have a high, a low. We swept the highs. We broke beneath the lows. I made so much. I made the most money I've ever made in my life in one sitting off of these sells. I literally sold right here and then price melted. I was like, sheesh, I'm selling NAS. I'm only going to sell. The market's going to crash. I'm looking at the news. I'm listening to people talk about this and that, like, oh, inflation and economy and da-da-da. And so I'm like, yeah, the market's going to keep selling. And I just kept trying to sell, because this was a sell setup. I was like, yeah, we're right here. Price is selling. I'm going to keep doing it. Stop loss is right here at these highs. Until the stop loss gets hit, I'm selling. And I stood on business for an entire year selling. And when I look back, I'm like, wow, if I just stuck to the actual market trend, which is clearly uptrending, I could have just held the buys, and I could have still been in profit holding buys to this day. To this day, to this day, that could have been me. And that's why at this point, I've completely disregarded counter trend trading, especially on trending markets that are bullish. I'm just like, I'm just not going to do that anymore. I just rather hold the buys forever, forever. And that's why I'm here today. And, we have about, 3 minutes left until the New York Stock Exchange opens. Price is still here consolidating. For the past 30 minutes, we've been on the call. It's just been up and down, not really moving much. And hey, look, I don't blame them. We had the morning news. We had the core CPI at 5:30 a.m. and that allowed for price to come in, sweep a lot of the buyers out who had smaller stop losses, and maybe had their stop loss at these lows instead of the actual stop loss where it should be. So it was actually able to sweep people out. I know for a fact that when you do have a setup, right? When you have, let's say, your buy setup, liquidity, we sweep the lows, break above the highs. A lot of people, they don't want to put their stop loss. Let's say your entry is here at the top of the zone. They don't want to put their stop loss at the wick. They like to put it somewhere in here or there, like on a different wick on a different time frame. You got to stop that. You need to put your stop loss where it's supposed to be. Because then if you get stopped out somewhere in between, you're going to be upset. You're going to be upset and you're going to be confused. Why am I getting stopped out? I have this setup. Like, you need to put your stop loss where it's supposed to be. If it means your stop loss is huge, hey, then that's the structure. You can't make an artificial stop loss if we're not going to accept the fact that it's highly likely you may get stopped out. You need to just accept it and maybe under leverage. Stop putting the fat lots, It's one thing I know is if you want it to last forever, then why rush it? All right, this is trading is not a get rich quick scheme. People go to school for 4 years, 10 years to become a doctor and a lawyer. Why are you not willing to give trading the same amount of effort, especially if there's more money to be made? There's more development you have to go through as a person emotionally, mentally, in order to even get the results you want. So why not give this the same type of energy and mindset of, hey, this may take me a couple years, but when I learn the skill set, I'll be set for life. So that's how you have to go into this. A lot of people, they get on YouTube, they go follow these gurus on Instagram, and they think, yeah, I'm gonna make $1 million in 75 days. Sure. That's not how it works. But yeah, it's officially 6:30. The market, the New York Stock Exchange is open. And, we have some slight volatility here. Nothing crazy. I'm really looking for us to break above these highs with a full body candle, not a wick, right? You see how the wick came up right here? We came with a wick. That doesn't count. Because when you get a wick, that can just be some type of manipulation. Price wicked up, making everyone think, oh, it's going to buy. So everyone is buying. But little did they know there was 20 minutes left on the candle to close, and it closed beneath that level. Now you're stuck in buys, you're in drawdown, and now you're shook. So for instance, right now we're on the 5-minute time frame. People are like, oh, Nas is buying. Let me FOMO in. Let me buy right now. But let's say in the next 3 minutes, when the candle does close, what if it closed all the way down here with a wick? That wouldn't count as a close above these highs. You would need the actual full body candle like you see currently to close above these highs to confirm that we want to see higher prices. And then you would exercise patience and allow price to travel back down if it wants to, because we don't know, if it wants to, for the retest, for the mitigation, and then take your setup, and then take your play. Patience, right? I believe Warren Buffett said it, like the market takes from the impatient and gives to the patient. You gotta have patience with this. I'm telling you, you gotta be patient. I'm grateful for this because my patience has skyrocketed to the moon. I have so much extreme patience. It's crazy. Like it takes a lot to get me like emotionally riled up or impatient. Unless we're talking about food. Like food is the only thing I haven't like if I'm hungry, bruh, that shit better be ready today, right now. But besides that, like yeah, patience is up there. It's definitely up there. But yeah, what are y'all looking at? I know I've been focused on Nas heavily. This is the Nas call. I love trading indices, gold, Bitcoin. Those are the most volatile instruments that I like to trade. I know there's other things like, USD, JPY, things like that. I like to focus on NASDAQ, the top 100 tech stock companies in the United States. But look at this. There's 1 minute and 50 seconds left on this 5-minute candlestick. And look, people probably, maybe they got into buys here. Oh, I'm going to buy NAS right now. And now they're like, damn, what's going on? It's going against me. Well, one, you didn't even trade the setup. Two, you FOMO'd in. So, that happens. The actual entry is down here. I think Takai, you think it will continue to push? But I think so as well. I also believe so. I have confidence in that. Only thing that's, making me kind of iffy is this area here. I know we did move tremendously from these zones, and if you use your fib from the lows to the highs, well, actually, this Fibonacci is not even valid. You can't even draw a Fibonacci. You can't draw a Fibonacci unless price retraces bare minimum back to the 236, right? I don't believe the wicks count either. You have to have body candles. So unless price is coming back to the 236 first, then you can draw your fib. And unless that happens, then that means the trend is just way too strong, and there's no point. There's no point because I'll break it down for you. When price does come back, let's say price comes all the way up and it retraces to the 382 percentage, that means it's a very strong uptrend, very strong. If it retraces back down to the 50, that means it's normal, very normal. 50% discount, super solid. Who doesn't want 50% off? And then if it goes anywhere lower, between the 618, 786, 886, that means it's very weak, very weak. So it's back at the entry. And this is where people lose hope. People lose hope down here and they stop buying and they start to have doubt and resentment, and they start selling, and oh, I'm going to sell my stocks. I'm already down 80%. I'm going to sell it. And then that's when all the institutions and the big banks get in and buy. And so while you were scared and got out, that's when the big dogs got in and went in with $20 billion and took all your money, and now price flew in your direction and some. So stand on business. Stand on business. If you're not willing to lose $1,000, why are you, eligible to win $10,000? Right? If you can't risk $1,000, why do you deserve 10,000? Right? So you got to be willing to lose something in order to win something. All right. So price did come back to the entry. I believe Noe as well. Noe, Castro, it came back to your zone. Maybe you're in. Maybe you're in now. Probably wicked it perfectly with no drawdown. You're probably up. Like, oof. 35 pips, easy. You're in there. Let's go. In there like swimwear. I hope more people are in there. I'm not sure how many of y'all are actually in the community, but if you are, then this setup has been dropped in the chat since yesterday afternoon, right? So you should be in here. If you weren't in here just now, based off that alert, you had all night to get in because price was in the buy zone from 12 a.m. all the way until just now. You've had 6 hours to enter the trade, so there's really no excuse unless you just didn't want to trade this setup, which you don't have to trade every setup. But yeah, there's that. Let me check on SPX as well. Sheesh. SPX is down there. Yeah, the entry was over here somewhere. Let me see. What is this? I'm gonna just delete that. I think this is it should have been like down here. SPX is flying though. Same thing with SPX. Similar setups. Let me check the 5-minute real quick. Very similar. Doing its thing. US 30. US 30 is flying. I love it. Dirty 30. I like it. I like it a lot. Let me check on the dollar real quick. Let's check on the US. US dollar is melting. US dollar is melting. I do see us in a current buy setup though. So let's see. Very iffy. We have lows here that were swept, this wick. And then these highs were the next area of the setup. And then stop loss is of course at the wick. The reason why I'm looking at this zone here, let me zoom in for you. We had price give us a low and then a high, and we swept the lows, and then we broke above these highs with a full body candle right here. Right here. So that made this zone eligible for buys. And as you see, it did mitigate a couple times and then fly. And then we came right back into the zone. But again, just because we're in this alleged buy zone, it doesn't mean it has to buy. You always want to look for a setup within a setup. So currently, I want to see price give something like this. Sweep more lows, break above, go. I want to see something like this happen. As of right now, I don't see that at all in here. All I do see is the sell setup. We had consolidation. We had lows and highs, correct? And then we did sweep the highs, and then we did drastically break beneath the lows. We came back into this whole consolidation zone and then sell off hard. So that lets us know that, this is a sell setup happening inside of the alleged buy zone. So I wouldn't feel confident. Like I say, if this was any other pair, I wouldn't feel confident taking buys because we don't even have the buy setup inside of the zone. That's just more confirmation. Let's go back to NAS. We're on the 15-minute. I'm just waiting for us to break above these highs with a full body candle, looking for that 1 to 3 setup. And again, if you're in LA, this Friday, we're going to be in Oxnard. We're hosting an in-person trading workshop with me and a few other traders where we're going to be diving deeper into this in person. And then I'll be, myself, going over more specifically risk management, risk assessment, so you can understand the importance of 1 to 3 setups. Why it's important to, if you're risking $100, you want to get $300. If you're risking one of something, you want to make triple of that. And the reason why we do that is because if you lose 7 trades and win 3, you'll still be profitable if you're using 1 to 3 risk to reward. And that's extremely important. So I'll be going over that, diving deeper. So if you're in LA, tap in with us. I believe I have, if you go to my profile here on YouTube and click the description, my link tree's in there. You'll see everything on there, step by step. You can buy your tickets, all that good stuff. But price is back inside the zone. Inside the buy zone, it's 641. So if we're not already in, this is your opportunity to get in. Let me go back to the 1 hour. We'll see if this holds or if price wants to clap that buy setup that we have, and maybe price wants to come lower to fill some of these imbalances left behind and maybe reattack some of the buy setups down here. We don't know. I'm just following structure that was given right up in here. So we shall see. We shall see. I believe this is about 80 to 100 pips. So we'll see if NAS wants to go that deep. If it does, it is what it is. We're still holding buys. If you've been plugged in, we're still holding buys from down here in this zone. We're just stacking the orders. We're holding buys here. We're holding buys here. We're just going to continue to stack. If it goes lower, great. That's lower entries for us, more safe options. But yeah, if you're not in the buys already, this is now your chance. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do, but we are live trading. This is the setup. I'm trading the setup, right? Until the stop loss gets hit with a full body candle, not with a wick like this. It has to be a full body candle. Then that's when I'll be like, okay, this setup is done. What's the next one? And there's more down here as well. There's more down here. As you see, this is a nice one too. Boom, swept it, broke above. All right, there's more down here. There's more. There's one here as well. So we'll see. We'll see. If I see more of a buy setup in here, that's more confidence. I did see this just now, unfortunately, where we have liquidity, swept the highs, broke beneath. So that's nasty. That's not good. We want to see the buy setup happen on at least the 1 minute chart. Since it is only a 15-minute setup, we want to see, this happen. Right, that's going to give us more confidence to take these buys, to add on more positions. But as of right now, it's looking like it did give the sell setup up there. So all we can do now is just stand on business, let the thing play out. Check on US 30 is flying though. It is not selling off. SPX, something similar. So US 30 is a lot more bullish for sure. We'll see. 6:45. The hour candle closes here in about 15 minutes. So we'll see if we push back above or we play around in the zone all day. It is Wednesday. We have news tomorrow again, 5:30. So I'm expecting more type of volatility. And then Friday, there's no news. No news until next Wednesday. Sheesh. Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. Not many news events happening for the next couple weeks. So that's interesting. So back to the 1 minute. Yeah, in this instance, for more clarity, let me move this over so it's not just in the way. Move this over. For more clarity, let's say you want to enter buys, but you're not really feeling confident. You're like, it kind of sold off too hard. I don't know. For more clarity, you want to wait for price to break above these highs here with a change of character, right? You would need price to do this because we already got the low. We got the high. At this point, we swept all these lows. So in order for us to build more confidence around entering buys in this zone, we would need price to break above these highs with a full body candle and then retest and take off. right? That would build more confidence around the setup here. If that doesn't happen, then of course we would go lower, but that's what we're looking at currently. That's the next thing on the agenda. We don't know when this is going to happen. We don't know how. We don't know if it's going to happen. All we can do is follow price action, market structure, and see where it takes us. But do you guys have any questions on anything? Right, I kind of want to give you guys a quick market structure lesson. I know I have the video already on my YouTube. If you go look at the videos, I do dive deeper into market structure. But since I have you guys on the call, I kind of just want to go into it really quick. Let's see, go over here. So let's say, price is uptrending. It has a low, and then there's a high, and then there's a higher low, there's a higher high, there's a higher low, right? Price, if it's uptrending, it's going to do this. Okay, and if it's downtrending, it's going to do the opposite. You have a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, lower high, lower low. That's a downtrend. And then you have consolidation, which is price not making any new highs or lows. It's just staying within a range. The market can only move in these three ways, right? Up, sideways, or down. Uptrend, consolidation, downtrend. It can only move in those three ways. And how we trade is we capitalize on the trend of the market. So again, price is uptrending, doing its thing. And let's say it's uptrending for a while and then it starts to consolidate, right? And then it sweeps the lows, not breaking beneath the previous lows, but it sweeps these current lows, still staying above here, making a higher low, and then breaking above these highs, making a higher high. That is still an uptrend. Still uptrending. You would buy in that zone. But in order for us to be aware of price switching from an uptrend to a downtrend, that's when we look for a change of character or a change of direction. Because let's say you meet somebody, they're cool, they're nice, they're upbeat, they're fun, and then all of a sudden they start to act kind of weird. They start doing weird things and not being a man of their word or a woman of their word and trustworthy. And then all of a sudden they do something crazy, right? They spike above the highs, and then boom, they switch up on you. They change character. Like, whoa, you acting different. You changed up on me. All right, that's what the market does. Because instead of making an uptrend, which is a series of higher highs and higher lows, now they start to switch. Instead of giving you a higher high and a higher low, they give you a higher high and a lower low. Because now we broke beneath these lows here. Yeah, now we broke beneath these lows because we have to stay above all these lows in order to continue an uptrend. As long as price stays above each one of these lows, we're still uptrending. But for some reason, this person was acting different. They said, nah, fam, I'm going to go beneath these lows. I'm going to break beneath these lows. Now, that's when they change character. They're doing something different now. And that's when you mark up that same consolidation zone. So then whenever price decides to come back up here, anywhere in the zone from the beginning all the way until the wick, which is the stop loss, you're able to take that and continue the move down. But let's say it goes down and it breaks even beneath these lows, right? And then it breaks even beneath these lows. Now you're like, oh, the market is downtrending now for sure. No, it's not. Maybe temporarily, but let's say we still didn't break beneath these lows. I would still take these buys, right? If I see a setup here, starts to consolidate, and we see price sweep those lows with a wick, not a full body, but with a wick for manipulation, and then break above. Now I'm looking for the buys right here, right? I'm not gonna change my whole bias. Oh, the whole market now is switched to bearish. Nah, because maybe it's been uptrending back here for years. Right? Maybe it's been uptrending forever. Right? Maybe it's been doing this. Just because we got some breaks of structure to the downside and we had it set up doesn't mean the whole bias now switches to sells forever. Right? Don't marry the counter trend. Don't marry the sells. Like, we're still overall bullish. We may have just got a small retracement. Cool. The market can't just go up forever. It's going to have to sell off eventually. And if you draw your fib, let's say you had a Fibonacci and you drew it from the low all the way to the high, that came right back to the 50% exactly. Boom. And now it continues up. Right? This happens all the time. So when you see something like this happen, don't just think, oh, no, I'm selling forever now. It's now officially a downtrend. Like, no, it's still making higher highs and higher lows. Right? This is, higher high, higher low, higher high, still giving us the same structure when you zoom out. But I hope that helped a little bit. I hope you guys got some value from that. But again, check out the video. I did a whole 10-minute breakdown of this, diving deeper. Super, super important. But yeah, we're just playing games here on NASDAQ. It's still in the zone. Neri said, I can see US 30 rally a bit higher and NAS and SPX go a little lower. Yeah, she called it. I'm not sure if she's on this call, but one of our students inside of our powerhouse team, she said she can see US 30 going higher, which it is. It's fine. And she said, I can see NAS and SPX go lower, which it is doing right now. Right? We have a lot of sophisticated traders within our group, and it's a blessing to be able to surround yourself with other people who are on the same journey. Right? Imagine 500 people looking at the same chart every day. It's not going to really be much room for error at that point, right? So that's why I'm so grateful. But you guys have any more questions? I'm about to hop off here, unless you guys have anything for me. Oh, look, it's giving us another opportunity. Perhaps now we're looking at this high for a change of character, right? Because now we have another low that was created and another high, and we just swept these lows. So now we can use this or this one. The more the merrier. That's going to give us more confidence. The more breaks of structure to the upside that we get, the more confirmation. But if we don't get them, then price will continue to go lower. So again, that's just going to build more confidence around the setup. We may go lower. We may lose this trade. We may go in deeper. That's perfectly fine. But just be on the lookout for these as well. As price does go lower, be on the lookout for the change of character. That's going to give you the confidence, right? But if there's no more questions, no more comments, concerns, thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to run this back next Wednesday as well. And then I'll see you guys Friday at the event in person, live in action. Get your tickets. Oxnard, California, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Hopefully LA traffic isn't too savage. LA on Friday during rush hour is treacherous. But I'll be there early. So I'll see you guys on Friday. Let's get it.